Hello. I'm in Brooklyn now, at the corner of Tompkins and Green Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I'm just coming out of Von King Park. And, oops, just stepped in a bunch of water. At any way, I'm walking up Tompkins Street here, and I thought I'd record this video outside, this little book review outside, because it's, well, winter's breaking a little bit. It's not as horribly cold as it's been for a month or so. It's been really cold this winter, which is unusual, because the past few years the winters have been quite warm. So this one's been cold, and we haven't liked it all that much. But not that snowy. You can see the remnants of the most recent snowstorm on the sidewalk by me here. So I read a novel, a new novel, by David Szalay. Let's see, S-Z-A-L, Szalay. It's called Flesh, and it is he's a Hungarian guy. I guess that's why his name is what it is. But he was born in Canada, and maybe now lives in the UK or something. Anyway, it's the novel won the Booker Prize, so I thought I'd read it, the 2025 Booker Prize. So I thought I'd read a Booker Prize winner, and got it from the library. And well, it wasn't really that great as far as I'm concerned. You know, it has some appeal, and maybe I'll describe what that is. I found it very cinematic, actually. It felt like reading a treatment for a miniseries or a movie, and I thought, well, maybe that is not that stupid of the author to do that. In that, you know, does anybody make money from writing novels these days? I don't know. Yeah, the big bunnies in other entertainments, movies, adaptations, and he might have been wise to write something that could be of appeal to a producer. Producers in Hollywood lore, a producer of movies is someone who's not going to want to read a lot. You know, they're not really readers. So just give me the pitch, give me the tell me what goes on, give me a piece of dialogue, and that's kind of what goes on in this novel. There's a lot of dialogue, and there's a lot of back and forth talking, and like a few lines, like how are you doing? Okay. You know, things like that. So not very much descriptive stuff, not the inside of people, of the characters. I like more psychological stories with you know, a lot of text to tell me what somebody's thinking, stuff like that. And this stays in the flesh, stays on the surface, doesn't get very skin deep. It just tells us what happens. So it's much like watching a movie where people talk and move about action, plot lines, things happen with the plot, and plot moves forward, but we don't really know what anyone is actually thinking, because it's the film is once again I complain about film in that way, and it just is not an interior form. It's just looking at what's going on and hearing what people are saying. It favors action over really anything else. Oh, here is a cannabis store. I thought they were not licensed before, but they are licensed now. And I'm not going to buy a cannabis soda of 10 milligrams because I'm staying away from that. And that's helped because I've been writing more. Actually, I woke up this morning and wrote a little review of this book for my Goodreads. So back to the book. It doesn't. It's a long life story that evolves over 350 pages. He starts out at age 14 in Hungary, and he is seduced by an older woman who lives across the way. His mother says, "Why don't you help the lady across the hall there carry her groceries?" So he starts doing that, and ultimately she seduces him, and he, at age 15, and he gets all involved in that and excited about it, and then something really horrible happens because of that, because she is married, and something happens with the husband that I won't reveal if you want to read the book. So it's interesting that in my review I didn't mention that seduction with the older woman at all. I just mentioned that that's part of the story, is that he is often seduced by various women, and he's very kind of passive, and he just sort of kind of goes along, and it just sort of happens, and then it leads to something bigger happening after the seduction and after they have sex and form some sort of relationship from that those sexual encounters. But I noticed that in looking at the Goodreads reviews of other people, that women actually did mention this as a trauma, and the sex itself as being a trauma, not so much what happens after that, the result of that, but the sex itself. Whereas a few male reviewers, including myself, who read that, just sort of glossed over that, didn't really think about that. But that's really is a factor that. I had traumatizing, but I was much younger when mine occurred. But I guess when we think of a boy as 15, 16, whatever, I started having sex with a girl my own age at age 16. So there's that. This is a bookstore that is pretty cool. The word is change. It has a lot of political books and so forth. I don't want to walk in there with the camera shooting, but maybe I'll duck in later after I walk up here a little bit more. So So he a lot of stuff goes on in the book. He goes to an internment thing, a prison thing for a little while. He goes into the army and ends up in like Kuwait, during the Gulf War or something. He ends up living in London, meeting somebody, becoming a security guard. Moving to London, and he also not only travels from place to place like that, but he travels in the economic scale. He goes to stratospheric places economically. He gets very, very wealthy. I mean, 1% wealthy for a spell. And he ends up back in Hungary. So that's kind of what the book is like, and as I said, I wasn't that thrilled with it because I like novels that go inside people more, and this failed to do so. It was just really on the surface and really kind of like a movie. So you might like that, I thought, maybe this is something that would appeal to modern readers who really just are, well, I was too, raised on television and cinema, but I got into reading and got into loving that form much more than just watching picture stories. So yeah, as I said, maybe it's called Flesh because so much of the changes that go on in his life happen because these women, want to have sex with him, and he, just sort of passively goes along and gets more involved with them, and various things ensue because of that. So I think that's about all I'll have to say about that. So you can read Flesh if you want. Now I'm reading Lolita, so I just started it this morning. It's a lot sort of harder to read. It's a kind of more of a literary kind of novel where and the content, which is unpleasant, right? So, but I was close to a woman who really liked the novel, I guess, and had the novel and had movie adaptions, a couple different movie adaptions, and an audiobook read by Jeremy Irons, and so I'm reading Lolita, and here comes the fireman. Hey, mate. Thank you for watching.